Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today I'm back here for one of my weekly 64x64 lot mansion builds, and today we're going to go ahead and create this Hamptons dream mansion. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is real Thomas TV1. So I'm going to go ahead and put a card on screen now with some information about this build. So came in at 573,786 simoleons. It has 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and I built it on the 64x64 lot in Brindleton Bay, and it took me an hour and 15 minutes, sorry, 2 hours, that would be way too crazy even for me, 2 hours and 15 minutes to do, which is not too bad really. You know, I do these every week, so I'm kind of just getting quicker and quicker at them. I suppose this isn't as, you know, quick as some others, but you know, I think it's still in that range. Anyway, so I've actually done a Hamptons build before, like a Hamptons mansion before. And I don't know why, I kind of was just looking at random kind of mansion builds, so like real life ones, and Hamptons was one that was keep coming up, so I thought I'll go ahead and give it another go, but I just, you know, stuck the word dream in there, so it's not exactly the same title, and it doesn't really look like my last one anyway. It's kind of different, and also in terms of the colour scheme, because I believe for the last one I went for like a lighter colour scheme, and I think I had blue in it as well, but this one's like on the other end of the scale because it's all like red and browns and neutral colours, that sort of thing, so really happy with it. And you know, the price tag of nearly 600,000 is, you know, kind of a lot, but I did actually, yeah, I think it was last week's, the autumnal dream mansion, I think that one was like 670 something thousand, so that is, you know, even worse. But you know, these mansion builds are only going to be for your richer sims anyway, so I suppose it doesn't really matter that much. So this home I actually built a few days ago. I think it was the 21st of September when I built this on, which was kind of like 2 weeks ago, and I think this is going up tomorrow on the 7th of October. And yesterday was actually the first time I did an additional mansion build, because if you don't know, I'm now doing mansion builds every Friday and Sunday. I've always done mansion builds on Sunday like I am now, but I did go ahead and incorporate a one on Fridays, and this week was the first week I did that. It's just because, you know, it's like the thing that people like to watch the most during the week, and it's the thing that I like to build most, is these big homes, so it was kind of just a win-win sort of thing, I suppose. And you know, I might as well do more of what you want to see, and it's more that I want to kind of build as well, so kind of works out really well. So let me know what you think about that. I mean, I'm not going to kind of, you know, I was saying in that build as well that I'm not going to really pressure myself if it kind of gets to like, you know, really stressful time and I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to get the build out that day. On the Friday, then I might have to miss it, but I'll probably upload something smaller. But my Sunday ones, I've never really missed one. I've always managed to get my Sunday ones out, but I'm just talking about my Friday ones, you know, say if I kind of, you know, run out of time or something, then I won't stress about it too much because it is an additional one at the end of the day. So we're just working on the exterior here, as you can see, and I've done that little thing where the garage is on the left hand side, and it's kind of like the hallway, well, the outdoor hallway, I guess you could say, going across to it. I've done that in a few of my builds now. I really need to kind of, you know, stop doing that because it's going to turn out to be in all my builds, but it's just kind of a really nice little additional thing to kind of switch things up from my past builds. I mean, it's not really that exciting to be honest, but it's just something a little bit different to make it look a little bit interesting, I suppose. And I think it's in the next build as well, because I've, like, the last couple of days I've built like 4 mansion builds. I've got like 2 weeks of mansion builds already done, so I'm kind of glad about that because that never really happens. I've just been in like a surge of motivation to do mansion builds the last couple of days, so that's been great because, you know, it's always good to be ahead of my videos, I think. But you know, sometimes what I actually used to do is I always like to be ahead of my videos just because it's kind of less stressful when you know that I've got like videos already done, especially for bigger builds, which may take a little bit longer. I mean, that was in the past, I don't really know. But I kind of used to do that all the time, like sort of pre-record for no reason. And then I would also do the voiceovers as soon as I'd finished the build, just because I like it to all be done. But I kind of like, it's kind of a bad thing to do that because I'm kind of, you know, doing the voiceover and it might be like 2 or so weeks before it goes out. So everything I've kind of said doesn't really make sense, or it might not be as time relevant anymore. So I try, when I've been doing this kind of pre-recording thing the last couple of weeks, just because, you know, I'm in the mood to build, I've just been kind of leaving the voiceovers until a few days before the build goes up. So like I said, I built this on the 21st of September, and I'm now only doing the voiceover on the 6th of October. So it's kind of just in case things, you know, I want to mention that might not be relevant, it kind of just helps with that, I suppose. So like I said, 7 bedrooms, and we're not quite on that yet. We'll probably talk about it a little bit more once I get onto it. But I kind of kept them fairly neutral. I've mentioned this a million and one times by now. You probably hear me talk about it every single build. But I basically just keep them neutral, so it's easier for you to download. So it's not, you know, very specific to a particular type of sim. It just kind of makes it easier for you to use. And you can go ahead and switch it up to kind of match that sim's personality a little bit better if you want to. So you can see here that we're working still on the landscape, and actually included a little bit more footage of the landscape than I usually do. Well, firstly, I don't really include all of the landscape in my builds because it's kind of just a very repetitive process. I have the same style of landscape that I use for pretty much all my builds, so I feel like sometimes it's just best to kind of not show it all, because, you know, it's literally what I've just showed you, and I'm going to continue doing that for the rest of the build, if that makes sense. But since it didn't really take me that long to do the interior, actually, I thought I would kind of even out by showing you some more of the landscaping for a change. So that's what you can see here. And I actually really like the backyard area today. I've had in the last couple of builds, I kind of talked about it in the voiceovers, have been having a little bit of trouble with the backyard spaces just because it's kind of hard to fill it up. I never really used to have that problem, but then it kind of just came back to me a few weeks ago for some reason. Maybe I was building too much or something, and I kind of, you know, was starting to struggle with inspiration. But I always find the backyard area sort of challenging in a way to kind of fill up well, because sometimes they seem to be a little bit bare in terms of outdoor furniture and stuff. So this one was kind of good because I kind of got a right balance between landscape and outdoor activities and stuff, so I'm happy about that. And did I actually, I can't remember, like in the other side of this garden, which isn't on screen right now, I think I did go ahead and put a couple of those like glass roofs, like this sort of like mini greenhouses, I think. I can't exactly remember, I think I did in this build. You'll see in a minute, it's just the camera isn't on it right now. But I have, yeah, I did put 2 of them in. I have been putting those in quite a few of my builds recently. I don't really know why, I just never really did when we started getting glass roofs, and it's actually kind of a good sort of use for them. So I decided to go ahead and include those. And also in my upcoming mansion builds and stuff, I have got a couple coming up. I think the one that's not going, hang on, I'm trying to think, I think maybe 4 mansion builds time. I've actually got like 5 or 6 of those kind of little greenhouse things, which is pretty crazy. But I don't even, like, I've mentioned this in the last build as well, I think it was, but I don't know if those are actually functional in terms of like an actual greenhouse. Like, you know, when we've actually got greenhouses in the game and how they actually function in terms of like, you know, being able to grow anything at any time of year. I don't know if those roofs actually class is being able to do that and having that functionality. I'm not really too sure. Let me know if you've played with any of that before, because I'm not really much of a game player, so I haven't really messed around with that too much. So let me know if that actually works or not, because I'm not actually too sure about that. But you can see here that we're just working on this little kind of hallway. I can't really think, that hallway doesn't sound like an outdoor hallway. That doesn't sound right, but I can't really think what you would call this. It's sort of like I was going to say courtyard, but it's not really that either. I don't even know, to be honest. But I've put like a little sitting area out here, and I've kind of paused for a second. I don't know why. Hopefully I'm going to come back in a second. Otherwise I'm going to have to stop this voiceover to re-edit that. Okay, we're back. Thank God. That sometimes happens, and I don't really like to kind of like, once I've got the voiceovers going, I don't like to go back and re-edit it for some reason. I don't know why. It's kind of a weird process that I edit things by. So, but that was, I don't know why. Sometimes I try to cut out all the things that are kind of like that, but, you know, there's a lot of footage, so sometimes I overpass things. But, you know, it wasn't too bad there. Anyway, so we're now on the interior. As you can see, all the wall coverings and everything already done because, well, like you see at the beginning, there's a load of things that I kind of mentioned in all my builds. This is another one by I just do all of the wall coverings and flooring off screen, as well as the hallways and bathrooms in my builds, because they're all exactly the same pretty much, and they're also kind of boring in a way, so I do cut those out. And then regarding the flooring and wall coverings, the reason I cut that out is because you're going to see it anyway once we start finishing and decorating that particular room. So I feel like if the build is going to be a little bit on the longer side anyway, it's probably a better idea to do that. And speaking of which, this build is pretty long. It's nearly at the 20-minute mark, which is kind of like my maximum, I would say. I don't like my builds to get above, like, you know, 18 minutes, I would say. I know that's not even that long in some cases, but for me, I don't really like it to be that long because, I mean, I don't really think anybody wants to listen to me talk for over 20 minutes, so I do try to keep things, you know, fairly on the shorter side. And also me being a fairly fast builder, I would say, is kind of helpful with that because, you know, it kind of makes that easy when it comes to editing and I don't have as much to cut out. But you know, let me know what you think about length of videos. Is this length of video okay? What is something that you would class as normal, or what would you class as something getting too long? I don't know, let me know. So right now I think this is the living room, I think. Like I said, I built this a few weeks ago now, so I can't exactly remember everything, but yeah, pretty sure this is the living room. That's the thing as well, where I build loads and then do the voiceovers at a later date. I also kind of forget about, you know, what's kind of actually like what each room is, and I kind of have to wait until I've started decorating it because I can't, you know, exactly remember every single detail about the build. But anyway, other things that's kind of going on. Well, tomorrow, I think, from when this video goes up, I think we'll get like an announcement by the Sims team, because if you remember at the end of the Max's monthly stream, Kate said to check the social channels at the beginning of next week. So I would think that would mean, like, you know, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, and I personally think it's going to be a pack announcement, probably an expansion pack. I don't know, I just have a really good feeling it's going to be that. So let me know what you think it could be. I mean, you know, it's probably most likely going to be a pack announcement, but I'm pretty sure if I had to pick one, it'd probably be an expansion. It kind of just makes the most sense. So I don't know, but we'll just have to see what things turn out to be like. You know, whatever it is, I'm still pretty excited for it. You know, I'm not really that picky anymore when it comes to upcoming content and packs and stuff. I'm kind of just happy with anything we get, really. Not that I'm kind of disappointed with anything and I kind of just, oh, you know what, like, you know, just whatever we get, yeah, that's fine, I suppose. Not that sort of mindset. It's just that, you know, I'm just happy with everything we get because it's like more build items, I suppose. So it's always kind of, you know, good for that. I mean, when I was at gameplay, when I did lots of let's plays and stuff, I was more kind of like, you know, well, I wouldn't really say picky, but more kind of well, you kind of know what I mean. But now I kind of just, I'm happy with everything, really. So this is the dining room here. As you can see, there's a pretty big, well, we're finished now with it, but it was a pretty big dining room. It had 16 seats, I think, because I put are they 8 seaters? I think there are 8, oh god, I can't speak, 8 seaters. I think I put 2 of them together, so there's 16. And that was just something that I do a lot of mansion builds, because I imagine, you know, well, it's got 7 bedrooms to begin with, so it's probably going to be a full house that's living here. But again, if you have other people there as well, then I suppose it kind of is a good thing to have. Because, you know, in like kind of like events that we'll have, not really, I mean like in-game events like birthdays and that sort of thing, dinner parties, and you can have up to 15 guests, isn't it? And then with your household people, that would probably be a good place to sit, and there's enough room there probably. So right now we're just working on another little sitting room, and this kind of, you see quite a lot of these from mansion builds, really, because, you know, I kind of got a kind of decision to make, and if like I should, you know, do a few living rooms or do I do more bedrooms. And I always kind of go for more living rooms, because what I used to do was, when I first started doing mansion builds, is that I kind of had like a ridiculous amount of bedrooms and stuff. So I feel like it's a little bit more, not really practical, I don't know, it makes it more realistic, I suppose, by not having like, you know, 20 bedrooms. And I actually did that once. I can't remember, yeah, it was the mega mansion build. I can't remember when I did it. It was quite a few months ago now. But in that mega mansion build, it had like 22 bathrooms or something, and probably a similar amount of bedrooms too. It was really, really crazy. I just really wanted to do something like totally like just out of the scale, really. And it was a 3-floor mansion. It's in the mansion builds playlist, which this one is also in. I put all my builds and videos in playlist, by the way, so you can go ahead and check that out. If you're ever new to my channel, that's always a good thing to kind of check out, so you can see more of, you know, whatever type of content you like to see, and it's all kind of organised in the playlists. So this is the garage area, and with my garages in builds, I always kind of change it into something a little bit more practical, because, you know, I don't have cars in game, or I hope we'll get them soon. But anyway, I do kind of like just change them into a gym. I feel like it's kind of something that a lot of people do anyway, both in real life and in other people's speed builds that I watch, and it's kind of a good use of the space, so that's what I do there. I'm now working on the bedrooms. As you can see, again, we've got a purple colour bedroom, because I kind of use that a lot in, you know, just builds, because I say this a million times, but with seasons, we've got a lot of nice purple kind of colour swatched items. And actually this build, now that I'm looking at it, is more of kind of like an autumnal theme. I actually built it in summer, but, you know, well, I suppose that's kind of good, so it means it would work in summer too. Because a lot of the time when people do kind of very season specific builds, it's kind of more like you can't really use it when it gets to the other seasons without having to make big changes. But I suppose since I built this in summer, you could, you know, easily just use it in summer or autumn, and it'll probably be good with the other seasons too. And yeah, so now we're just working on another one of these bedrooms. Again, like I said, they are kept fairly neutral, just so it's kind of easier for you to fit a family in here and make changes as you need it. Because I do that all the time with my speed builds, because it's kind of just, you know, I don't really use my own speed builds, they're just for the gallery. And also, speaking of the gallery, yesterday something really exciting happened, is that I actually had 2 builds on the Popular Now page on the gallery homepage, which is pretty crazy. 2 at the same time, which has never happened before. I have had a few builds on the Popular Now page, but not that many, but and now I'm getting 2 at the same time is pretty crazy. So thank you everybody who's been, you know, downloading and everything. When we got the new gallery update, I actually had a lot of problems with it, I suppose. I know a lot of people did as well in terms of getting less downloads. Not that that's, you know, an important thing, but it was just something that a lot of people noticed. But now for all of a sudden I'm getting a lot more downloads now, which is kind of odd, so I'm kind of happy about that. And it's also, I've noticed that the builds that kind of go most popular in the gallery for me these days are the ones that are part of the Fix Me Thomas TV renovation series. I don't know why, but it kind of just is. Always those renovations seem to be kind of popular. I don't really know why, really, they kind of just are. So I don't know if you really like that series or not. I suppose that's a good indication of that. Anyway, so we're just working on this bedroom here, which was a single room. Like I said, I do keep them fairly neutral, but that would probably be more for a teen or like a child, I suppose. It doesn't really matter, it's just something to switch things up a little bit. And also it was a pretty colourful room. I tend to stay away from that in my builds, because a lot of the builds are fairly kind of, you know, kind of flow well with all the colour swatches and stuff, and then when this, like, all of a sudden there's like a very colourful fun room, it doesn't really fit in that well. But I kind of made an exception there, and that's also one of the reasons I don't do kids rooms in my builds, is just because it kind of, you know, it doesn't really fit in that well. Even though it kind of adds to the practicality, it just kind of makes it, you know, look a little bit better sometimes. You know, it is nice to do kids rooms sometimes, but most of the time I can just leave it out and make a fairly neutral room. And I'm also sorry if you get a little bit of lag on today's speed build. I don't really know why, but I've been having a few problems with that recently with my recording software. I'm actually looking to get a new PC soon, so hopefully all those problems will be gone, because I have been having a lot of lag problems recently. Sometimes it's kind of like, you know, not so bad when I'm kind of, you know, like once it's actually rendered out, but it is for me when I'm doing the voiceover and watching the preview screen. I don't know, it's all over the place. Anyway, so we're at the end of the build here. I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of it. If you have any more suggestions for mansion builds or builds in general you want to see next, then feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. You can go ahead and download this from the gallery. My origin ID is Real Thomas TV1, and there's also a download link in the description if you want to go ahead and access it that way too. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!